Our next topic is bathing. We have a new process that our physical therapy department has researched and found that it really helps our babies, and it's called a swaddle bath. You still have to wait until the cord falls off to do this, but it's really, really good for our babies. As most of you know, may or may not know, babies do tend to scream and cry when they're in the bathtubs. This actually helps with that, and it also helps keep their temperature up during their bath. So to start with your bath, you want to make sure that you get all your supplies together first. So we need to get your towel, your washcloth, and then you're going to have a separate swaddle for your baby. Your swaddle bath, your swaddle itself should not be real thick material. I like muslin or cotton. I don't recommend using anything heavier than that. You don't want to swaddle and tuck like we try to when we're ready to get them all snug. We don't want to tuck our blankets because we have to be able to get to our baby. There's two ways you can swaddle. You can either go from the top and then up, or you can do up, over, and over. Either way is fine and neither way is wrong. When you get ready to give your baby a bath, you do want to make sure that you're in a nice warm area. We don't want anything open windows. You don't want any fans going on. You want to make sure that your water is pleasantly warm to the inner wrist. My pleasantly warm and your pleasantly warm are probably two totally different things. So what I like to tell my parents is if you touch the water with your wrist and you feel anything that feels cool is too cold. When you touch your water, your wrist to the water, and you think hot at all, it's too hot. So it just needs to feel nice and warm. You also need to make sure that you fill your bathtub up to where it actually touches the baby's chest, and that's a new thing too, and parents are a little nervous about having that much water on their baby during their bath. But one of the things that this does is it actually takes the warm water against the blanket. It makes the blanket actually kind of stick to the baby, and it helps to keep that baby nice and warm. So the first thing you're going to wash on your baby is your baby's face. We're going to use just plain water for the face, and the very first thing we wash on our baby is our baby's eyes. You want to wash from the nose and wipe outward, and make sure that you use a whole different part of your washcloth to wash the other eye. This prevents any infection from going from one eye to the other. Once you get those eyes done, we're going to wash the rest of the face with just plain water. And then we can get our soap. We don't want to use any Q-tips on the ears. It can actually cause some damage, so just try to clean that as best you can. And then we'll start using our soap for the rest of the bath. Now, the purpose of a swaddle bath is to only expose the actual body part that you're going to wash, keeping everything else in the swaddle. So as everything else is there, you pull one arm out, you're going to wash that arm, you're going to rinse it, and then you're going to put it back in the swaddle. We're going to do with the other arm. Wash and rinse and go back in your swaddle. Now, a lot of people also think that the last thing you wash on your baby is your baby's bottom, but actually the last thing we're going to wash on her is going to be her hair. We do that at the very end. Okay, so to do your legs, you're going to expose one leg at a time. And we're going to wash and rinse. And remember too that when you're using soap, use a mild soap on your babies. Okay, so keeping the baby swaddled, you can actually go up and under the swaddle to do their chest and keeping everything else covered. And then rinse. When you get ready to do the baby's back, it's really hard to keep the baby in a swaddle, but the back is going to be the thing you do right before you take the baby out of the bathtub. So at this point, you can actually take the swaddle off, and one of the things you can do is to turn the baby over, and they tend to like this. You want to use the C hold underneath their chin, and we're going to wash their back really good, and this is when you're going to get their bottoms really good, going front to back for girls. And then rinse. Okay, here at the hospital, we actually have blanket warmers for our, that we can use for our babies. At home, you don't have that, so one of the things that we can do at home is actually take your blanket that you're going to use afterwards and actually toss it in your dryer, let it run while you're giving your baby their bath. That way, when you take it out, it'll be nice and warm, and they'll just love that. Never ever turn your back on your baby while they're in water, and never leave your baby alone in the bathtub to go get your towel. Okay, so we're going to put our nice warm blanket, we're going to get our baby in there, and we're going to go to either the sink to do their hair, or you can actually use the bathtub and the bath water that you just used to wash your baby's hair. Okay, so now it's time to wash the hair. You want to make sure that you cover the ears. We don't want water in your baby's ears because you can't use any Q-tips or anything to get in there. So we want to keep those ears covered. You also want to tilt your baby down just a little bit. And I tell my parents to aim for the soft spot. Look for your baby's soft spot, and that's going to be your landmark when it comes to washing your baby's hair so that we don't get any water on the baby's face. So you're going to take some nice soapy water, you're going to go for that landmark, and we're going to wash your baby's hair. Depending on how much hair your baby has, you can use a washcloth or you can just use your hand. Either way is perfectly fine. And then to rinse, if you're using the bath water, you can just use it. If you're using a sink, just turn your water on your sink and rinse your baby's hair that way. What I like to use here in the hospital is a cloth diaper to dry the baby's hair and get that hair really dry. And as you can see, we're holding our baby like a football to do the hair. Okay, so let's get our babies nice and dry. When it comes time to do lotion, if you're going to use lotion, we recommend never putting lotion on your baby's face. They can get it in their eyes, they can get it in their mouth. And never put any lotion on your baby's hands because they like to take their hands and put their hands in their mouth. I like to lotion around the baby's neck, and I'll lotion all the way up to the baby's wrist, but just not their hands. At home, you can lotion their chest. Here we can't do that because we have to keep the leads on. Make sure you get everything good and dry. Now, this whole process from getting your baby undressed, giving her her bath, and getting him or her redressed, that whole process of the bath is only supposed to take you 10 minutes. And it takes a lot of practice to do a 10-minute bath. You also never want to leave any standing water, so as soon as the bath is over, you want to make sure that you empty your bathtub. And then put her in her blanket. I actually did have one mom that we practiced the swaddle bath here in the hospital, and when she went home, she tried it at home and said that her baby slept through her entire bath and only woke up once she actually took her out of the water.